Hello there, Internet. This is Jackrid, the knight in not so shining armor, and today we're restarting my first Let's Play stream here of Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo, or well, I'll be playing it through my Wii U, but originally released on the Super Nintendo in Japan in 1990 and North America in 1991. This game is known for basically being the start of the so-called console war between Nintendo and Sega. Um, kind of a big deal in terms of video game history. That Nintendo had basically been king of the hill for several years at this point, and Sega decided to, come for the king, and they did not miss with Sonic 1 coming out on the Genesis. Roughly the same time that Mario World was being released on the Super Nintendo in North America, kind of creating the illusion of the console war, even though in Japan, the Genesis, or Mega Drive as it was called, was meant to compete with the 8-bit NES. And two, Super Mario World in Japan predates Sonic 1 by about a year. It would be interesting to see how the development of those games would have gone along had, they come out in Japan roughly at the same time, as opposed to just North America, where it was just kind of coincidence due to the Super Nintendo getting delayed and all that. But it was interesting to see two different companies with two different styles. Nintendo keeping their traditional, doing things their own way, while Sega went for the edgy new kid on the block style, which might have helped them win in the short term, but in the long term, 35 years down the road, I think it's safe to say Nintendo was the winner, as even just looking forward 10 years to 2001, where Nintendo was releasing in 2001 both the Game Boy Advance and the GameCube, while in 2001 Sega was basically retiring the Dreamcast and making the way to, become a third-party company. So, fast forward another 10 years, and Nintendo is, gearing up for another new era with the Nintendo 3DS and the Wii U soon after, while Sonic was kind of overplaying the nostalgia card a bit, being stuck with the biggest thing that year for Sonic being Sonic Generations, which was basically kind of a retro throwback. Pretty ironic, but then we go forward another 10 years to 2021. Nintendo is riding high with the Switch, while Sonic is, Sonic had his movie that everybody initially hated before they didn't. And that kind of was sort of a bright spot for Sonic's career in the last 10, 12 years before that. And now, looking forward to 2026, we have the Switch 2, Nintendo doing the Switch 2, Sonic doing a fourth movie, I think, is coming out in 2027, if I recall correctly. Meanwhile, the Super Mario Galaxy movie will be coming out sometime next year as well. And, even now they're kind of competing, but really you can kind of see that Sega really isn't what they used to be, while Nintendo kind of continues to stick to their guns and do what they do best. So I guess the main lesson here is just kind of, be yourself, because when it came to Sega, they had the hip new kid on the block style for the early 90s, but eventually was popular in the 90s, wasn't going to stay popular forever, and Sega didn't really adjust all that well to changing times, so now they're kind of just seen almost as a relic of the 90s. Whereas Nintendo, they kind of have their identity, they stick to it. They may not be the quote-unquote winner every time, but they seem to come out no worse for wear. A lot of people tell online, a lot of people like to say things to Nintendo like, you need to basically copy PlayStation and Xbox to the letter. But with how successful the Switch was and the current success of the Switch 2, though, with how well that'll be long term, we don't really know yet. And considering the Xbox line may very well be going the way of Sega, PlayStation and Xbox strategy isn't exactly as bulletproof as I think most gamers think it is. And Nintendo's shown that they can just be themselves and, be just fine. They're doing something right. You don't survive nearly 140 years as a company on luck alone. But anyway, now we've kind of talked a bit about that. Let me turn on my Wii U here. That system everybody hated until they didn't. And we're gonna, get this going. Let me shrink my little box here. So that I can bring up my Wii U menu. Go to Virtual Console Games 1, wherein we have lineup of different games. We're going to start with Super Mario World. One second here. Just reset completely here. Presents iconic Super Mario World intro. Introduction of Yoshi. Okay, so for this we're gonna erase that. Come back. Start one flavor. Welcome. This is Dinosaur Land. In this strange land, we find that Princess Toadstool is missing again. Looks like Bowser is at it again. Kind of getting a bit cliche here. Even factoring in Mario 2 USA, where the princess wasn't kidnapped, this would have been the third time in North American territories for a Mario game where she was kidnapped. So, there we go. Start off here with essentially three choices. Yoshi's House, Yoshi's Island 2, Yoshi's Island 1. Check out Yoshi's House, even though that's technically not really a stage. Hello. Sorry I'm not home, but I've gone to rescue my friends who were captured by Bowser. Yoshi. And Palmprint. Also, apparently that pattern on Yoshi's mailbox is a symbol for Japan's post office. A little fun fact there. So the castle, I guess, encourages you to want to go that way, but we're going to go this way. We're going to go left instead of right, which is odd for a Mario game. And Mario's not used. Those are kind of funny because you stomp on them and then they're like, normally. The first of many. still not amused. The sprite of the bonsai build kind of goes over his hat sprite there. So Mario has a spin jump that destroys him completely. Hey. You were in the pipe there. Dumbass. In Big Mario, we can break those blocks, get that dragon coin. Kaboom! And checkpoint. And here's a block. Point of advice, you can hold an extra item in the box at the top of the screen. To use it, press the select button. Yeah, that was a new thing here, and pretty much only here until, I think, Super Mario 3D Land brought it back in a form. Point of advice, to pick up a shell, use the X or Y button. To throw a shell upwards, look up and let go of the button. There's the shell. Up. Up. I said up. Thank you. Oh. Up. Flower. Roast these guys. Not the bonsai bill, but funny how something that big can be beaten by just a simple stomp. Something that big would be either invincible or require a Starman or something else. Jump to Chuck there. And first course down. So now it carries us up to the Switch Palace. Yeah, with the start button we can do a zoom around of the map, get kind of an idea of what to expect in the future areas as we go from Yoshi's Island to other parts of Dinosaur Land. First, we're going to go through the Switch Palace here with very festive music. And coins everywhere. I like to joke that this is basically the Nintendo vault, which is why Mario is allowed to raid it and no one else. Running around through that gets us a bunch of extra lives to make up for the one I lost. And Switch Palace. The power of the switch with push will turn dotted lines into solid yellow blocks. Progress will also be saved. Joy. All those blocks. Continue and save, continue without save. I don't know why you would want to do that, but if you wanted to, you could. Anyway, now we've done that. Go to Yoshi's Island 2. Electric Boogaloo. The yellow blocks always have a mushroom in them. Then, Yoshi! Hooray! Thank you for rescuing me. My name is Yoshi. On my way to rescue my friends, Bowser trapped me in that egg. So the first game to rescue Yoshi here. To do a spin jump, press the A button. A Super Mario spin jump can break some of the blocks and defeat some of the tougher enemies. Yoshi eating the berries in the background. Red shell. Spicy. Berries. Green one on the other hand. plane. So you hit the thing. Wait a minute, my model's acting up here. Hold on 1 second. Okay, my model's back in place. I don't know what the heck happened there. But anyway, through coins, press the button to this button for Yoshi's tongue. And captured proper relief, Mario was not actually punching Yoshi to make him spit his tongue out. I think there's actually artwork that kind of shows Yoshi, or that Mario is pointing at what he wants Yoshi to eat with his tongue. Point of advice: this gate marks the middle of this area. By cutting the tape here, you can continue from close to this point. Yes, that was like last time. Yoshi egg when we already have Yoshi, goes a 1-up. Monty Moles, stop the Monty Mole. Fortunately, we can't climb with Yoshi. That's one of his major drawbacks. So anywhere your area then involves climbing, you're having to leave him behind. And, oh, I missed that there, but each stage has a number of dragon coins. When you hit 5, you get a 1-up. As well, these berries that Yoshi eats, if he eats 10 red ones, he basically poops out an egg that is a power-up. In the Super Nintendo version, I think it's always a mushroom, but I believe in the Game Boy Advance version, it can be also stuff like a 5-flower or a 1-up mushroom. But in this version, I think it's always a super mushroom. Through the pipe. Pipes are not as foolproof as you think. 40, that's pretty good. You hit the tape, you get stars based on how high it was. Sorry. Based on how high it is. The highest possible is 50, and I think in the GBA version you also get a 1-up. So there's that. Over here. Point of advice: the big coins are dragon coins. If you pick up 5 of these in one area, you get an extra Mario, which I previously said. Also, it took me a while to figure this out, but how it's the music in the worlds are the same basic theme, just different speeds and tempos and whatnot. This being the quote-unquote athletic theme, it's a lot faster. When it comes to like the underwater stages, it's slower and more calming. Cave stages, it's kind of F for Yoshi. Anyway, they're saying the music has various tempos for various stages, but it's the same basic tune the entire time. Though initially I didn't realize that at first. stomp on an enemy, you can jump high if you hold the jump button. Use up on the control pad to jump high in the shallow water. There's no water in this stage, but the next one does. This is why you kind of want to go to the Switch Palace first, because it creates these blocks that can catch you if you happen to mess up moving across those blocks. Star, which I believe is based on the timer in terms of how much time you have left at the end of, or how much time is on the clock when you hit the block. Certain numbers give you 1 up, others just a coin. So yeah, I don't really pay attention to that because it's pretty rare. Yoshi's Island 4. Let's see, this one's the water stage, so keep in mind what we learned in the previous one. Yoshi's everywhere. There's spiky balls. Oh, these guys. There's pokies. Obviously, you can't jump on them normally because they're spiky. If I had Yoshi, he could eat them, but I don't, so. If you're in an area that you've already cleared, you can return to the map screen by pressing Start and Select. It can be very handy when you find yourself almost falling into a pit. So whenever Fire Mario does a spin jump, he shoots fireballs from both directions. Brings us up here. Coin. Starman. Through the Koopas and the Cheep Cheeps and these giant spiky ball guys. For them to get you 1 up. Here. You get bonus stars if you cut the tape at the end of each area. If you collect 100 bonus stars, you can play a fun bonus game. Also, I'd like to point out here, even though for the sake of this video, I'm hitting all of these boxes. You can technically skip them if you already know what you're doing, which, a huge improvement over modern games where tutorials are mandatory, even though modern systems can clock how much you've played a game. And see, oh, you played this game 500 hours? Too bad, you gotta sit through the damn tutorial again. Like, I've played this game before, let me skip it. Yeah, the blocks are useful for a first-time player, but for somebody who knows what they're doing, you can skip it. And 27. So star count is at 6-7. The other meme number. Oh, yeah. Anyway, now we're at Iggy's Castle, stage number 1. So we're going to be Yoshi real quick and show off the whole. Then we can skip the area since we beat it already. So, start and select. So we don't have to actually go through the stage again. if you just want to get a particular power-up or get Yoshi or whatever. And the first castle. Yep. Even though I went to get Yoshi, we leave him behind. I think the in-game explanation is supposed to be that he's afraid of Bowser, considering what Bowser did with trapping him in an egg. So press up on the control pad while jumping, and you can cling to the fence to go in the door at the end of this area. Use up also. Yeah, I believe initially the explanation in universe is supposed to be that Yoshi is probably a bit afraid of Bowser since he got captured and trapped in an egg. The gameplay explanation is more so that Yoshi just doesn't fit the castle gameplay style. Because, I mean, climb on this, which we can't do with Yoshi, so that would be very difficult to do. Lives, because if we stomp on these guys, we get more points and eventually 1-ups, but it only works if we quote-unquote stomp on them, not punch like that, like Mario can do there. Get more points, and eventually 1-ups, and as long as Mario's feet do not touch the ground, we'll continue to get points and 1-up. Touch the screen to go backwards. See, there we got a 1-up. See past that. Another 1-up. Very useful way to get 1-ups early on, if for whatever reason you find yourself struggling. Stomp. Okay. Point of advice. One of Yoshi's friends is trapped in the castle by Iggy Koopa. To defeat him, push him into the lava pool. It makes you sound like it's right behind this door, but it's not. Instead, we get this hallway here with deadly giant pillars that, when I first played this game when I was 4 years old, to me they looked like giant Pop-Tarts. Kind of weird to look back on, but at the time, I was 4 years old. I was playing this on like a box CRT television, where the visuals weren't exactly the best, so anyway, Koopa, basically stomp him into the lava. Whatever way the pillar, or whatever the platform is going is the direction you'll go in. So just keep going until he falls in the lava. And very easy. His friend. Thank you. Mario has defeated the demented Iggy Koopa in Castle Number 1 and rescued Yoshi's friend who is still trapped in an egg. Together, they now travel to Donut Land. Donuts. Anyway, yeah, this was also one of the earliest gaming memories I have was beating Iggy Koopa's castle for the first time when I was only 4 years old. I'm currently 37, so that was 33 years ago. That memory would have been. Damn, I'm old. But this castle's done. And now we go forward to Donut Plains 1. And we have the save feature, which this was actually the first Mario game to have a save feature. And the feature is kind of redundant, or kind of pointless in some sense, because when you save the game, your life counter gets reset to 5, and there are plenty of places to save here, so lives become kind of pointless as a result because of that. You reset to 5 every time you turn it off, and even if you do get a game over, typically get a save point after every castle, after ghost houses, fortresses, switch palaces, quite a few different areas. So you pretty much get a save point every 3 or 4 levels. So even if you do get a game over, you don't really lose that much progress anyway. So anyway, on to Donut Plains 1. Find. Oh. Sorry, Yoshi, we need to dismount. And see if we can't get that little bugger to come back. He's not coming back. Just my luck. Yoshi gets an extra hit. Got the flashing cape. This gives us the cape feather, which is basically Mario World's equivalent to the raccoon tail or super leaf. Sorry, Yoshi, I can't get you back here, but just gives us a chance to show off the cape, which is way better than the feather, or better than the super leaf. Spin much faster for one. Move while spinning. Just like that. Is he like running on air for a second? Here. One-up chances. Or chance time, as we'll call it. 1, 2, 3. Get a 1-up. So here, 2. No. I've had a long day, alright? Here we get this here where you use Mario's cape to soar through the air. Run fast, jump, and hold the Y button. To keep balance, use left and right on the control pad. This is basically a tutorial for the cape feather and how it works. Just kind of run. Force to kind of keep going. You can actually gain height if you're good enough, and I missed it there, but yeah, you can crash into the ground, which can knock out enemies. But yeah, you can really glide if you know what you're doing. Which is good because there's no P-Wing in this game, but given how well the cape feather works, having one would just be redundant, which is why it's not here. Yep. Oh, screw it. Sorry, Yoshi, I gotta leave you behind. Charging Chuck. That's baseballs. He throws baseballs even though he's just like a football player. Getting out. The red dot areas on the map have 2 different exits. If you have the time and skill, be sure to look for them. It's that green dotted lines there will be important later, but for now we're just gonna run right through and clear the regular stage. 82 stars. games too. We will come back to get the second exit later. I mean, technically I could get it now, but it'll be easier once we resolve the issue of the green dotted lines. Another auto scroller, which is very cramped because it's a cave. Also, rather interesting question here is what exactly is it that's moving Mario and company forward? You can see there's nothing behind me, yet Mario keeps getting pushed along. And, oh. Okay, I was not paying attention. Mario got squished. But from Mario's point of view, what did he get squished by? There was nothing there. And you could say, oh, the TV screen, but looking at it from Mario's point of view, not the player's point of view, what happened? Sweepers. It's supposed to be a 10 coin block, but if you don't hit it fast enough, it doesn't give you a 10, it just gives you like 3 or 4. Seeing how it's green and the others are orange, you think it would be special, but then there's another green pipe here, which well, at least it's the right sport this time. Let's see what they want to do here, but thread the needle, grab this key, and secret exit found. You know it's a secret exit because you find a key, you put it in the keyhole, and there you go. Now we have a green switch palace. So here, this. Ups. The power of the switch if pushed will turn the green dotted lines into green exclamation blocks. Progress will also be saved. So with that done, we can now go back to Donut Points 1 and get that secret exit. And we save. You see only a couple stages and we have another save. So lives are kind of not that useful here. But go sort through the sky a bit. And we miss those. We've seen the stage before, so it's not need to really go over too much here again. Yoshi. Also, something I didn't mention here with Yoshi is one, when you jump on Yoshi, the music gets a little kind of drum medley. So this right here. Look at that. And there we go. See the blocks are now the green ones. The key and barf. Takes us to Donut's secret one. Well, this is actually kind of interesting because it gives you kind of a branching pathway. Because depending on which exit you go for, you can go a number of different ways. But I think we're going to mostly stick to the main path here first and go with Donut Plains 2. But the proper exit this time. Here. Somehow can eat the Buzzy Beetles in one gulp, but with the Koopa shells, as well as the Koopa shells, you can't swallow them, but you can swallow the Buzzy Beetle shells. Kind of weird. If you push up on the D-pad when having Yoshi stick his tongue out, then she goes up. So go high or go low. And we have these green blocks, which are the best in the game because they always have the Cape Feather. So very handy to have. If nothing else, the Switch Palace blocks are worth it just for that. Not so much the platforms that they can create. Because the platforms they make actually kind of become less important as time goes on, as we get further in the game. Yoshi ran away. Yep, he fell down. I guess he fell down that pit. Make sure not to get squished there. What's going on upstairs? It's 5 dragon coins, so we got another one up. We have 29, which is quite a lot at this point in the game. Those guys. Just gonna ban that. Okay, so I got a little distracted there, but I guess I cleared 100 stars, so now we have this bonus game. We have either a mushroom, a flower, or a star in the middle. We've got to line up as many as possible to get the max amount of 1-ups. As a kid, I could nail this perfectly almost every time. As an adult, my reflexes or whatever aren't as good, so but let's just see how we do. Okay, so we get 3 1-ups. Not bad, but well, that's it for this version of the bonus game. Peace! Donut Ghost House. Ghost houses kind of have the same thing as the castles, little entrance you need to go in. This is a ghost house. Can you find the exit? Don't get lost. Go up here. You definitely want to do this one. So get something really good here. Get not only 4 1-ups. And the exit. So that was pretty short. secret exit to the ghost house, which gives us the top secret area. Though it is no, showing it here means it is no longer a secret to everybody. But the top secret area is pretty cool, as it's basically just a recharge station of sorts. Technically not even really a stage. In the middle we have Yoshi. These blocks here would normally have mushrooms, but if you're Super Mario, they're either fire flowers on the left or cape feathers on the right. So, pick your poison. I typically go with the cape feathers. I think they're better overall. And the fact is, you can come here as many times as you need to. You could technically grind lives here, because when Yoshi gets already, Yoshi becomes a 1-up. It's very tedious to do that one at a time, but typically you could grind lives that way if you so chose. Anyway, now we're going to go to Donut's Secret 1, our first underwater stage. You can hear it's the same basic melody, but slower, more relaxed. Which is nice, since the water levels in video games tend to suck, because, well, they suck in pretty much every video game because humans aren't built for water. People can swim and all, but, you know, people couldn't exactly swim, people couldn't exactly live in water. I think I know what this is. The pea balloon. You're gonna hate this thing later, trust me. But now you take it, and Mario takes part in, an inflation fish that would return in Super Mario Wonder. And you don't see that power up too often. It's here in like 2 or 3 other stages, but unfortunately I can't really fly up that far. So, interesting tidbit you may not notice right away is when Yoshi eats enemy, it actually has a coin to the coin counter. So if you look at the coin counter here, it went from 99 to 0, so I actually got an extra life there. I mean, nothing too big, but yeah, nothing too big, but it's kind of interesting when you're, just shy of, 100 coins that you can find yourself a 1-up that way. Pick up this P block, which Mario can actually swim pretty fast while holding it. It kind of naturally floats up, and I got smooched by the sleepy fish. And no checkpoint either. Told you water levels suck. Water levels in Mario are at least better than Sonic because apparently Mario doesn't need to breathe, while Sonic does. So I can kind of go at my own pace here. I'm just gonna go there. Let's see what's on the other side. Another pea balloon. One up, and another dragon coin. I think there's another one. In the Game Boy Advance port of this, I believe, it keeps track of every stage where dragon coins in each stage, with the dragon coins becoming peach coins after you've collected all of them in every stage. I never actually played the Game Boy Advance version, so not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works in that one. Almost lost it there. Fish. Since we have the key, we don't really need to worry about the timer, but clear that. To the Donut Secret House. We're gonna go back to Donut Secret 1 and get the normal exit. Much as I like the Cape Feather, the Fire Flower might actually be more useful for water stages. So what's kind of funny is that this is, I believe, the only game where the Fire Flower has this particular design, where it's basically a tulip with happy eyes. I don't know what kind of flower it is otherwise, but it's the only one here with the happy eyes. And then he fell asleep. Just Rip Van Fishy. I think those guys are called Bubs or Blubs or something. Just basically Cheep Cheep under a different name. Top 30. Trying to go for the tip top, which is 50. I rate that stage a 7.8 out of 10. Too much water. Go to the ghost house or the ghost house. Yes. So here it has the ghost house. Find the exit. This is actually the first one to have the ghost, specifically ghost, ghost themed stages and whatnot. In Mario 3, the boos were just found in the fortress stages. So we get 3 varieties. We get the generic boo, the derpy boo, and the grumpy boo. But I can show you something funny here if let's sit and stare at them long enough. Yep, he'll do the derp face. Let's do that again, and we find this vine. I believe that's the exit out. Stars. Important thing to keep in mind with ghost houses is they're usually 2 exits each. They don't always have 2, but more often than not they do. we're gonna go through the donut secret house here. Ring. Sorry, the derpy ones with the tongue sticking out is just, it's funny. Can't help it. We have Big Boo, who also has something fun, has something similar with his. If you stare at him long enough. This should work. But, yeah, he kind of lowers his hands a bit to see if you're still there. Considering he's 4 times the size of Mario, I have no clue why he would be scared in the first place. Yeah, anyway, the same basic theme, just kind of spookier because we're in the ghost house. There are 5 entrances to the Star World in Dinosaur Land. Find them all and you can travel between many different places, aka fast travel. We'll get to that in a second here. I think we want to go this way. Oh, yeah, this is the secret one. We have a boss fight of sorts with this. This particular Big Boo functions as a boss fight. Depending how you feel about Mario Lore, this may or may not become retconned into King Boo. Personally, I like to think it is King Boo, just kind of a very early version, or proto-King Boo. But yeah, pick up the blocks, toss them at him, and he's gone. And for clearing away the blue boss, we hit the Star Road. We'll come back to that in a second, or we'll come back to that later to see what that does. We're going to go through the normal exit to the ghost house, or the secret house. Boing. Since Ghosts are ethereal, shouldn't Mario be able to just pass through them? How do I think about it? Yeah, it's me trying to apply logic to a Nintendo game. So, exercising futility there. I want to just ignore those regular doors. Find this blue door for the exit. Alright, so clear 100 again. So now we'll get another bonus game. Got a mushroom. Let's see here. Okay, pretty good, except I wanted the mushroom, not the star. But that's it for this bonus game. Peace! That takes us over to this pipe. Save, so, yeah, see, after clearing both exits, so never really have to worry about losing progress here. But see here, there's a name there, but here there's nothing. So we get here and ooh, spooky. Find Donut Secret 2. So it's sort of a glimpse of Bowser's area, his big old castle. And if you watch closely, you can see eyes floating around, and when the lightning flashes, you can see Bowser in the clown car. Not that later, obviously. For now, Donut Secret 2. A nice stage that, that physics that everybody seems to hate, but I personally don't mind. Okay. I kicked it and then I spit a fireball, so it just disappeared. Starman. Right tops, I think they're called. Where you can also slide down patches here and get munched by these black muncher thingies. I don't even know what they're supposed to be, really. Here. And another big balloon. Not weird, because the area where it's going to cause the most pain we don't see till much later, but I also don't know what the point of all those platforms is when you can just float over it with Balloon Mario. Just a coin. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because it's ice physics, Mario's in like a running motion. For Donut Secret 2. That takes us over to Donut Plains 3. First I'm going to go to top secret area and get Yoshi. Feathers. Funny thing here is that Cheep Cheep, who jumps up, if you hit the arrow button here to skip around while Mario is on the bridge, he will keep jumping. Which is kind of funny, honestly. But that sound does get a bit annoying hearing it over and over, so for Donut Plains 3. Blue guys. That's when Yoshi eats a blue shell and gains the power of flight and just spat it out. But yeah, Yoshi can fly if given a blue shell. I'm going to skip over pretty much an entire stage if you know what you're doing. I want to say that's a bonus thing in here. Yes. Chance time! 1, 2, 3. One, two. Oh well. Have to settle for just having 44 lives, which is not that at all at this stage of the game. Let's get that there. Onto Donut Plains 4. Oop. Now when it's a yellow Koopa, which is kind of hard to tell because how tiny they are, but they have little colored shoes that give away their color as to what they are, and dang it, I lost Yoshi there. I was gonna try to explain that when Yoshi eats a rainbow shell or Caesar shell like this, as I call it, he kind of gets the abilities of all different colored shells. Unfortunately, I lost Yoshi there. Also pay attention how the blue guys are kind of have big arms. If you kick a shell at them and it's facing them, they can actually kick it back, which can actually kill you if you're not paying attention. Pipes everywhere. And we just glide over because the kick feather is broken. Kind of see why they never brought it back in any other game. These Goombas. Here and I was expecting to just kind of jump out of the cannon there. Boom. Kaboom! There's the cannon. There's Yoshi. Stop the Goombas. Or no. This one here is kind of interesting because it's an item that will shift between flower, mushroom, flower, feather, and star. I always try to go for the star since, unlike the other items, you can't actually. Unlike the other items, you can't actually keep a star in the item box. So I typically try to go for that when I can. Fly over the gate. Right, so now we're on to number 2, Morton's Castle. Just want to double check everything here. Yes, it did. Going for all 96 exits. These guys, thwimps, basically baby thwomps. Spike ball and chain. Escalator, there's something up there that I could fly to get, but I don't really feel like it. Fuck. Anyway, we have these thwomps. These guys. Funny thing is, unlike in Mario 3, where they had just one face, they have a couple faces here. Where basic regular face, and if you get too close, he gets kind of like an angry face, and then too close, and he falls down and will try to crush you. And Dry Bones, the zombie Koopas. Pretty dark when you consider Mario's supposed to be a kid's game. That there's basically undead Koopas running around that work in, for Bowser. And here you thought you would get a break from work after you die. Not when you work for Bowser. You'll just put some kind of magic spell on your bones and back you go. But we can kick them away with the feather, which kind of makes them a non-issue compared to other Mario games. Normally you stomp them and then they get back up. Do that and they're gone. Feather's just way too good. There's a random green question mark box there, which I don't know why that's there. I don't even know how you would get it. And now we have Morton. Just kind of charges you. Even easier than Iggy. What he's supposed to do is climb up the wall, and then on the ceiling, and drop down on you, but I typically beat him well before he even gets a chance to try that. Castle number 2. Thank you. Morton Koopa Jr. of Castle number 2 is now just a memory. The next area is the underground Vanilla Dome. What traps await Mario in this new world? What will become of Princess Toadstool? Let's find out at some point. Appears, open door. And now we're at Vanilla Dome 1. Sleepy. I'm gonna keep going. She I'm already despawned. Damn it. Now I can't get Yoshi back. Brain farts. Gotta love them. Red outlines. Can kick it up there, but I don't think I can get enough speed here to use that. But that's okay, we'll come back to it another time. Run like the wind. to give it another stage. Tops, not to be confused with spinies. Spinies do exist in this game, but that's a different enemy from those guys. And it despawned. Just smacked me in the face. G3. What that looks like. Did we sink Bowser's battleship with that call? I don't know. And that's Vanilla Dome 1. Getting a little bit challenging here. The first area that's really a challenge to newcomers. Give it another water stage. It's right in the water. I think that's Yoshi in that. Here. Or Flower. Flower's good too. Oh, that was dumb. Considering it's a piranha plant at the top of that line, you think it would kind of just chomp Mario. But for some reason, I guess it can't, or it doesn't. Kind of weird. Right this time. Way more flowers where that came from. So it gives us the red Switch Palace. you're stuck. Power the switch. Push will turn the red dotted lines into red exclamation marks. Progress will also be saved. Scanner out. Save. Now that we have this, we can get the secret exit in the No Dome one much easier. We just kind of turned around and gave Mario a kiss, and must have been the kiss of death. Here. Unfortunately, the red ones do not have anything in them. They are solely for platforms. Get the key. Got the secret one. A lot of secrets in this one. Now we get one that's mostly a vertical stage. This wasn't really a thing in Mario 3. I guess the NES was a little underpowered to handle doing both in kind of one game. So they kind of kept it here. In fact, apparently Yoshi was planned for games on the NES as early as Mario 1, apparently. But from what I understand, the technical limits of the NES were a little too hard to figure out how to get Yoshi in there and have him, work the way they wanted him to. So he was kind of put to the side until Mario World, where the SNES finally had the power necessary to make him work without causing any lag or other issues. You should be able to just secret exit, if I'm not mistaken. Get them balls out of here. Some energy drink. That gives us a Star Road. We'll come to that later. Now, go through the stage the normal way. This is going to be thread needle for sure. And needle threaded. still got it after all these years. I'm sure there's secrets there, but I'm just gonna go with the spring here, and since I carried it with me, it became a 1-up for some reason. Get to Vanilla Secret 2. This is probably one of the more interesting, which is a stage that is easily the best in the game for grinding lives. We'll come back to that in a second. Back here. As much as the Cape Feather is useful, in the water areas, I think the Fire Flower is slightly better. Simply because you can't fly underwater. So I don't think you can... In the water, it's not really possible or easy to spin while maintaining momentum. To spin and swim at the same time. Dang it, I wanted the star. Oh no. You know, as much as Charge and Chuck is like a prevalent character in this game, after this game he doesn't really appear again until like Mario 3D World, which was all the way back in... Charge and Chuck used Double Team. Anyways, I was saying, he's supposed to be a pretty prominent enemy in this game with very many different variations, but after this game, it isn't until like 2013 with Mario 3D World that we ever actually see him again. Okay, so now we have the Vanilla Ghost House, which is one of the few to actually be one exit and not two. Yeah, just... I'm gonna start a counter. 6-9. Here. Ooh. Where's Luigi when you need him? He's the one who handles this stuff. Or at least he would go on to handle this kind of stuff. Nope. There's giant balls of green jello. Just gonna fly past. The appearance of coins there in the shape of a door. That we missed a P-switch somewhere. Speak of devil, and it shall appear. Well, at least I get to keep my 69 for now. Nice. Continue and save. This is not. Got confused with another one for. See lava and the Valoric enemies jumping out of the fire or the lava. Skull rafts. And the fireballs are bouncing off the lava. Plugs, which is a kid. The funny face along with the sound they make. I always found that very funny. Also, I think there is supposedly a way to defeat them in some sort of way that was never intended that kind of causes them to glitch out. I'm not 100% on that. Never pulled it off myself. These piranha plants here, which I think are actually the only ones that are actually attached to the stem that come through the pipe and not jump up in the air. Ice in a lava stage. And people say Hailfire Peaks was the first fire ice stage. Despawn it. I don't think I can get to here now. Fire with fireballs. It just likes to be funny. I don't know why. It just does. To show stuff off for the sake of trying to do let's play stuff and show off as much as you possibly can, give as much information as you possibly can, but that'll put us at 90. Yep. But then I lose my 69. Sad face. Yeah, here's what I was thinking of no doing for. The athletic stage where we have bullet bills shooting out at random. All while we see a starry night sky in the background. Even though we're in a cave, we see stars in the sky. guess from a realistic point of view, it could be just like diamonds or other minerals reflecting off of something or other, creating the illusion of a night sky. I say Sonic is fast, but can Sonic stomp on bullets? Mario can stomp on bullets and take one to the face and live. Crap. Oh well, I can't get that now. Oop. And now we're at a shooting range, and Mario is the target. If only Mario had his pumped up kicks. Since I missed that checkpoint, I gotta start at the beginning. And I forgot he didn't have the cape feather. Whatever, we'll come back to that. Now we're going to show off the Vanilla Secret 2, which, as I said, is the spot in the game to get lives, as we'll see here. It's off screen just enough that I guess the game registered it as a normal block and not the block it's supposed to be. I say it's supposed to be a stage for, you know, getting lives and I end up losing a life. Oh well, to the top secret area is as I said, you can come back here multiple times, anytime. Basically restock your supply. Okay, now we're ready. Which is not the method I'm talking about in terms of getting extra lives, but it is doable if you have, you know, the cape feather and Yoshi too. Well, Yoshi might get in the way because he'll just flatten the. Never mind. I guess Yoshi was still alive because I heard him swallow a shell or something. There's the Spinies. That means Lakitu, this little fucker, and the bombs, of course. This one here gives us a gray P-switch, which is going to be very important for this. Yoshi's still here. Okay, so turns these guys into coins. I'm going to collect enough coins to get 1-ups, 2-ups, 3-ups. You can get quite a lot here. You get upwards of 50 in a single go if you're fast enough. And watch that live counter go up to 82. The Super Nintendo version, the maximum amount is 99. The GBA version, I'm pretty sure it goes all the way up to 999. I think I had 49 going in, and it came out with 82. So I would say did pretty good. Let's see for 3. But for sake of good measure, we're going to go back and max out the live counts. Not that it matters, really. Stop the shells, stop the Koopas. The funny thing is, even though Yoshi can't swallow the shells outright, after I think 18 seconds or 20 seconds or something, he will actually be able to swallow the shells as well as P-switches and keys. My headcanon for that is that it's too big for Yoshi to swallow whole, so he keeps it in his mouth where his saliva is kind of like a slow dissolving acid that dissolves the object in question until it's small enough for Yoshi to actually swallow. Morbid, I know, but the funny thing about Nintendo games is that they're very cutesy outside. If you actually look at the lore inside, it can get pretty dark. See Kirby as the prime example. Even though we're at 99, the amount of sounds keep going. Again, I believe in the Game Boy Advance version of this, you can go all the way up to 999 lives. Though I have no clue why you would ever need that many, but you could. Let's repeat this. Go back. I'm going to go to Vanilla Secret 3 now. We have these dolphin buddies. Like platforms, they're not enemies. So funnily enough, in the Japanese version of Mario World, Yoshi would be able to actually eat the dolphins. I think they brought that back for the Game Boy Advance version. I'm not 100%. I mean, I know I keep bringing up the Game Boy Advance version of Mario World, but I've never actually played that, so please forgive me if some of my recollections or what I believe to know about it isn't exactly true, because I've never really played the whole thing. I've never really played Mario Advance 2 or Mario World on the Game Boy Advance. Yeah. And I tossed Yoshi into the water for Big Bertha, the porcupine fish, or porcupuffer, or whatever. Big Angie fish is what I'm trying to say. Unfortunately, Mario has his dolphin friends. No, it really shouldn't. Oh well. That just shows you can't trust dolphins. And as The Simpsons showed us, they're gonna take over the world one day. The Simpsons foretold that, so it's gonna happen. It's just a question of when. Bonus game now. Star, so. Big Small Mario doesn't help either, I think. Yeah, that's nice and all, but I wanted the star. But what am I complaining about? I can't even collect these anyway. Peace! Yeah, making a big deal about the lives I apparently could have gotten but didn't when I'm already at 99. Okay, that's the... I can go to the Vanilla Fortress. Looks like Mario 3, there are fortresses here, though there's only 4 in this game. And the Vanilla one is most likely the first one we're going to come across. So that's a goal. Fortresses is just Castle Light. And this one is completely underwater. And tied to a bonefish. As I said, this is underwater, and given the name Vanilla Fortress and the kind of bright colors in the back, I kind of imagine this to be like ice cold water, which means Mario must be freezing his ass off, if that's the case. Fortunately, he doesn't actually get affected by cold in this game. I think that's just an alternate path. Those are bony beetles, which are just the dry bone equivalent of buzzy beetles. I think the upper way is actually the easier way. I saw coins up there, so if nothing else, it's the better path just to get coins. Let's get the mushroom and boss fight with these rhinoceros guys known as resin water. Careful, once you knock the second one off, the bridge starts to collapse. So you need to watch yourself so you don't accidentally fall into lava. Now the floor literally is lava. just missed it there. So, gets destroyed. Bridge gets built. And we save. Come to Butter Bridge 1. But we're gonna go back to Vanilla Dome 4 and clear that. So we can clear the third castle. Just to get that mission, I already have one. So I think as long as I keep these bullet bills on the screen, more won't spawn, so I guess as much as you may feel like you need to slow down with all the bullets flying past, you don't. Assuming as long as they're on the screen, you keep more from spawning. I'm going to get the checkpoint this time. Did I trigger a glitch or something? Because I'm not seeing any bullets flying around. Oh, spoke too soon. Me and my big mouth. And that's it. And I think about that's actually, I think, our introduction to bullet bills in this game. Unless you go out of order. Now on to number 3, Lemmy's Castle. And our introduction to this asshole, Kamek, as he shoots PlayStation symbols at us. I think that's just a bonus area, so we're just gonna do that. This or not. And I tried to swim in lava. Oh well. If I was actually Big Mario, I could have just spin jumped on these blocks and broke through them. Though that may actually have been bad, as I might have ended up hitting something here. This brings us to a checkpoint. Just what I needed. And a 1-up. Just what I needed. Let's not swim in the lava again. Mario did not need to marinate in his own ragu. It's gonna be kind of annoying. Kind of just wait for the blocks to either come out of lava or just not squish you. Here, I gotta wait. So we don't get squished. And I missed my chance. No, realistically, those blocks should be molten, like scalding hot, given they're dipping in lava. Bones. There goes a cape. And now I have Lemmy, who plays Whack-A-Mole. Oop, I lost my... Don't wave your ass at me. Yeah. Go marinate in your ragu. So with 3 of 7 castles, we're basically at the halfway point here. Thank you. Mario has triumphed over Lemmy Koopa of Castle Number 3. Mario's quest is starting to get much more difficult. Have you found the red and green switches yet? Yes, we have. So now that I see Mario with a hammer, it's kind of weird that they didn't put that in as some sort of power-up or something to that effect. I mean, he's been using a hammer since Donkey Kong, it wouldn't be that out of place. Now we've liberated the Vanilla Dome. Go here to the Cheese Bridge area. Cheese. Saw blades. Kind of a little much for Mario's more kid-friendly style to imagine that he get damaged by getting cut up by these saw blades. You can spin jump on them. This pair of wings, but we need Yoshi to actually take advantage of those. And I don't think we can find him here. And more bullet bills. So many saw blades. That's the first one. To Cookie Mountain. Area. Probably because it doesn't have. Look at those sumo bros. Basically like giant hammer brothers. Even though regular Hammer Brothers don't appear in this game. We get the Flying Hammer Brother and yeah, the Flying Hammer Brother and Sumo Brother as a variation, and to a slightly different, to a lesser extent, we could probably include Charge and Chuck as well. But regular Hammer Brothers are not in this one. Yep. And I died to mole. Oh. Okay, we'll go back to top secret area. Restock. Now the cheese bridge area has a red dot, so we're gonna go there. I don't know if what I was looking for before will take us to the exit I'm looking for, or if it'll just clear us back to Cookie Mountain, but either way we have to try. Just chip off all those blocks, or all those saw blades. Into a bonus area where we now have a blue Yoshi. Yoshi turns from green to blue. And for the sake of not risking losing blue Yoshi, and okay, so it doesn't take us to that secret area, but anyway, now Yoshi is blue. We have the best color Yoshi in the game. Let's see if I can flip that dumbass away. Yoshi. Blue Yoshi is special because, much like blue shells, I spit it out. But much as blue shells give regular Yoshi power of flight, blue Yoshi can eat any shell and fly, which is kind of broken for what a platformer is about. Moles. A lot of Monty Moles here. I guess Monty Moles really like cookies or something. Two pink berries, and out pops a cloud that drops these little smiley coins that function like regular coins, but if you collect all of them, I believe you end up getting a 1-up at the very end. Yep. Not that I need them, but interesting to know. Even though there's only a few stages where that's actually possible. Aww. During Cookie Mountain, we now go to number 4, Ludwig's Castle. We're gonna go back to Cheese Bridge and find the secret exit there. Mario, MLG proing since 1981 or 91. You know what I mean. So I'm getting a little tired here. So, build up some momentum. Slide under the goal here, which we had to drop Yoshi before we get 3-up Moon that I didn't collect, but it gives you 3. Gives you 3 lives, and we get the secret exit of the Cheese Bridge area. Which takes us down to Soda Lake. All these food names. And it's another underwater level, as you can guess. We have torpedoed heads, which are essentially the underwater version of Bullet Bill, which I believe only appear in this stage as well. So, it's good because they're kind of annoying, as you can see. Unfortunately, there's no way to stop the boxes themselves from spawning more torpedoed heads. All we can do is just kind of duck under and hopefully not touch them. That's close. Close. 6, so 5, 3. That was close. And that takes us to the 3rd Star Road. First one being, of course, in Donut Plains, the second one in Vanilla Dome, and now the 3rd one here in the Soda Lake. What we're going to do here is go on Fortress onto Butter Bridge 1. And it's an auto-scroller. Again, I ask, how does this work? It's the little things that are kind of like I don't want to say pressure switches because they don't really activate anything. I guess more like seesaws. Because push one down and the other goes up. Just here. Fortunately, because I have the red switch, I have these platforms here to help. On and on. Yep. This one will just kind of let it slide down. Thought I missed that for a second. Crap. Any other hidden goodies? Anyone? Bueller? Also, I think that kind of throws me off here a bit because the speed kind of goes all over the place. Starts off moving a bit slow, then a couple areas where it goes a little bit faster, and I'm so tired. I have an energy drink here. Is caffeine just not doing anything for me anymore? See, like there, it kind of goes a little fast. Then it goes a little slow, and then back to being a little fast in some areas. Coin. And the exit was right here. Oh, missed that star thing, but whatever. And now, another bonus game. Star. Let's see if I can get it this time. Hopefully I can. I'd like to get it at least once on recording. Oh well. That's it for the bonus game. Peace! That gives us Butter Bridge 2. We want the cape. Bonk. Bonk. If I had Yoshi, you guys wouldn't be laughing. We have ones with red capes, which don't do anything special, only the flashing ones do. Though now I think about it, I think this is the only stage with the Koopas that have red capes. Yoshi. There's a blue shell, you guys are in trouble. Stop. Oh well. Oh, well. That's the other path to Ludwig's castle. Stuff like Butter Bridge. Part of me kind of wonders if this maybe wasn't like something that was kind of done at the last minute with that area, because unlike other areas here with Donut Plains and Vanilla Dome, that stretch of 4 or 5 stages doesn't really have a distinct name. It's kind of all over the place. I think there's the Mario guide, or the Mario wiki calls it the Twin Bridge area, but I don't know. I try to remember these areas by the name of the region they're in, with stuff like Donut Plains and Vanilla Dome. And so for those areas up there, I tend to forget about them a lot because they don't have a specific name to them. But anyway, this is going to be the last one, and then we'll call it a wrap here. Bye, Yoshi. We'll see you in a second. Good thing the chain doesn't hurt, just the spike ball. I think there's also, yeah. Up here for chance time. 3, 1. 23 is number 1, and I missed that one. But when you're at 99 lives, what the hell does it matter? Right into the lava. Oh well. At least I get to keep Yoshi. Spiked balls. Here. Just switch. Set the spikes back up. And run like the wind as we have to hurry so we don't get crushed here. And it makes a loud thud. And same strategy of stomping Koopas in Iggy's castle works here as well, though compared to Vanilla Secret 2, there's nothing quite like that, so. Okay, here we go. Punch, punch. That. Come to Ludwig. Shoot fire at us. Spin around. He's probably the most annoying of the Koopalings in this game. And because he's the only one with a unique pattern. Or a unique fight, rather. And he's down. How do we destroy the castle this time? Thank you. Ludwig von Koopa's days of composing Koopa symphonies in Castle Number 4 are over. Force of illusion lies ahead. Mario must use his brain to solve the puzzle of this perplexing forest. You can see the hill now has a bandage on it. Now we head to Force of Illusion 1. We're basically at the halfway point of the game. Been doing this for about 2.5 hours now. I know I kind of wanted to keep things going from 8 to 11, but I'm getting a little tired, so I'm gonna bring up the Twitch here, see about raiding somebody. If there's anybody we can raid or anyone worth raiding. Someone without a whole lot of actually no, we won't read this time, but anyway, that's kind of where we're gonna leave things on this as of this stream. Back tomorrow at 8 p.m. tomorrow to continue Mario World, and depending how quickly we can knock things out, potentially finish it. If not, then we'll just come at it again on next Tuesday, I guess. So, till next time, this is Jackrid VT. Ride the wind.